Good evening, everyone. I'm so very happy to see so many of you here. I'm really grateful that you took out time to join in this webinar, which is very close to my heart. And I'm so passionate about this subject. Look forward to a grateful interaction. So we start this webinar and the topic, which is very critical, not just now, it has always been, but for last 2 months, it's become center of everyone's thought process. How to have better immunity. And more so, the today's topic will focus on how can we create immunity through our work or home environment. So immunity, everyone knows, I don't have to say what impacts immunity. Hygiene, exercise, good diet, lifestyle, all of us are doing most of the thing. Today, my focus will be on environment, how where we live or work in could be affecting our immunity, and how and what we can do to actually create a better immune environment. So as some of my colleagues have written, home definition, which I love it, the way how they have written, it is actually a place where occupants should be healthy, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. So let's go on this journey with me. So some of you whom I don't know or you don't know me, I'm an architect. I'm co-founder and director of organization Environics, which was founded way back in 13 years back. And the idea of founding this organization was to look at environmental impact and its impact on our health and well-being. So what is in the environment which is impacting our health and well-being? And what are the simple and innovative solutions to take care of this? So I feel very proud that in last 13 years, we have been able to make more than 2,500 establishments healthy and been able to impact more than 6 million lives. And our vision is to impact more than 100 million lives in another 3 years. So I hope all of you will join me in this journey. My personal quest in this field started when I was doing my architecture. I always used to wonder because people would say, and most of us have felt when we move or we go into some space, we feel very good. It doesn't have to be very decorated place. We just feel good. Most of the time we choose a home. When we go in and we choose a home, whether it's for buying or for renting, we say, I felt good here. So my quest was what is it making person feel good? Is that something which I can measure and I can use in my architecture to ensure that every space is like that? So that's when I started looking at it. And during my journey as a researcher, I had a fortunate travel France, Germany, as well as other places, and meet a lot of researchers and scientists who are doing work in specific to how buildings impact the health of the people. And that's where my journey started. And it's been more than 20 years. From the researchers, it has moved to innovation. And now I feel I am an expert who is helping people make their working spaces, their living spaces healthy. My journey or my whole research was actually guided by these two quotes. First, we shape our buildings, thereafter, they shape us. So, that is something I truly believe in. And let's go further. So, what shapes our home's health? Light, all of us know about it. Ventilation, material used in a space. Some of us who are architect obviously use that to the best of advantage, and not just architect, all of us look at our spaces as material. Air quality, last couple of years nobody is not heard of air quality or not looking at it, but today I'm going to talk about some of the invisibility immunity stealers, which are everyday radiation. So let's ask all of you, when I say radiation, what really comes to your mind? Will you put it in the chat, please? So I will get to hear from most of you. what actually is radiation. And when I call this everyday, this is the prefix which we use it, because when I heard first time electromagnetic radiation, the thought came to my mind is X-ray, nuclear ray. All of us have heard about this. But today I'm going to talk about radiation which we all know about. It's like electricity. We can't see it, but it's part of our life. And the prefix everyday because it is impacting every day of our life. So two types of radiation which are electromagnetic in nature. One is man-made, most of us know about. Second is the natural radiation. Natural radiation, there are two types. A phenomena which is called geopathic radiation. As an architect, I really first time heard about it. And I now feel that every individual should be knowing about it. I will take you through this. What is geopathic radiation? For some of us, we haven't heard. And Earth's natural energy flow, which all of us have experienced. When we go to a sea area, when we go outside to a space, we all feel good about it. So what is in an open space which makes us feel so good? That is Earth's natural energy. But sadly, the moment we build four walls, we create a cocoon. And the idea is that can we make our internal energy as conducive, as nice for our body as the external energy we crave for. So that is something which we'll talk a little more about it. So both these have become a new health challenge because especially so in last 2 months. Earlier, I used to tell people that we spend maybe 50% to 80% of our time in homes. But now I have spent more than, or more, I can't say more, but 100% of my time inside this lovely home which I have built around myself. So what is geopathic radiation? How many of you have heard about it? Can you please raise your hand? Wow. So 30, the counting is going on. So I'm very happy. I'm talking to people. So many of you have heard, so I won't go much in detail. But for some of you who haven't heard about it, as the word suggests, geo, earth, and its pathic word came from pathos in Greek, and the stress. So the researchers called it geopathic with the phenomena that this emanate from ground. It's natural, but it causes pathos, that means sadness or ill health or stress in people who are directly affected by it. And unfortunately or fortunately, 20% of our Earth's surface is impacted by it. So some of us could be affected or some of us need not be affected by it. So as I said, geopathic is emanating from two sources, magnetic core of the Earth and the fissures or underground water streams. So what do? They emanate from ground. They emanate like walls from the surface of the Earth. And these are very strong radiation walls. They affect the vibrational frequency of cell. Imagine you sitting or sleeping on this particular radiation wall or invisible radiation wall. What it does is it affects your vibrational frequency of cells. So long-term exposure could create a lot of ill effects. But some of the scientists or clinical trials which went around this research, they found that short-term exposure could be you feeling lethargic, you feeling headache or constant aches and pains. But long-term exposure was linked to, in 99% cases, cancer. The reason being, again, that actually impacts the immunity of our body by affecting the normal functioning of our cellular structure. So one of the places I was invited, one of the calls I got from Philippines from one of my clients, and she told me that since she has moved into this beautiful house just around 2-3 years back, she is constantly having backache. And she has done all kinds of things, changed the mattress, changed the bed, changed everything, whatever anybody was telling. Then somebody spoke to her and said, maybe you are affected by geopathic radiation. So she Googled and she must have found our website and she must have found our name. So she contacted us. And we went to study the radiation there, what is the survey, to do the survey. And we found that exactly the place where she was sleeping or her back was there, the geopathic, there were two geopathic intersection lines. And it was so coincidental that she was shocked. I was myself, after doing so many homes, I was myself shocked that this could be so much correlation between your aches and pains and you are sleeping on geopathic line. So what it could be doing to our body? Short-term impact, aches and pains. Most of us have experienced waking up or shifting to a new bed and we can't sleep. Or if you've seen that most of the day you wake up feeling really tired or lethargic or not rested or sleeplessness, this next time please think that this could be one of the reasons which could be causing sleeplessness. Apart from various other factors, I'm not saying this is the only reason, but I'm telling you because the immunity is directly, all of us agree. How many of us agree that sleep directly affects your immunity? Can you put it in the chat or raise hand? So yes, all of us do agree that to that. So one of the sleep stealers could be geopathic radiation. So next time, try and changing the place where you sleep and see if there is any change. Long-term impact people have found increased heart risk, blood pressure. The area wherever it affects, it makes that area vulnerable. A very interesting phenomena which when I was doing research on it is found that in ancient time, in European culture as well as in Indian culture, they used to let sheep or animal graze the ground before they built any kind of township. So it's not something which, according to me, Germans only found it. It was there. And they found that sheep did not eat grass on these geopathic lines. And the whole township could be mapped out for them. I belong to a small village, and there is a saying there that if you have bought a plot, तो let गाय बांध दो वहां पे. अगर गाय घास खा ले तो प्लॉट बहुत अच्छा है, आप उसमें बिल्डिंग बना लो. So earlier I used to think what superstition this is, but now when I correlate, I feel maybe this could be one of the reason why pet animals are very sensitive to this geopathic. If you see your pet, if you make him a lovely bed and you make him or her sit on that place, many times they will never sit there. They will end up going to some other place. I'm sure if you get a survey done, you will find that that area is not conducive or it has either geopathic radiation or some kind of negative radiation. It has happened with one of our clients. She moved into a new space and she called me, Ki, Manisha, since I have moved, I haven't felt anything. I'm okay. But my pet is very agitated. So I know there is something which is happening since you talked to me about. And when we went to do the survey, yes, we found it. Not just pet, all of us actually are sensitive. If you see our kids, you make them sleep, young ones, most of the mothers have noticed that if you make them sleep at one place and if they have a permission to roam around, you will never find them at the place you made them sleep. They actually are sensitive and they also do avoid negative radiation zones. This is, I just wanted to show to you, this is the kind of survey or the plan if you notice. Now here, this is the master bedroom and this geopathic lines are located. Red lines are showing you geopathic lines. They are very straight lines. They run north, south, east, west axis and they emanate like walls. So a person sleeping here, both of them have intersection on their legs. So that particular area becomes more vulnerable. You may not see the impact depending on your immunity, but if you notice that if you get up in the morning and you get up with the leg pain, by the end of the day, leg pain has gone. So you know that it could be affecting you. So similarly, this area, the whole person is cut by the geopathic line. So these are, or very interestingly, I put the baby cot here because most of us are able to tell our problems, but the babies are not. So if you have baby crying continuously, try and changing the cot. Try and changing the space and you may see some difference. So we have found sometimes, not always, but 50 to 70% correlation with these issues and the impact of geopathic. So I'm just trying to remove the. So how do you know you are affected? Home, as I talked about, if you wake up feeling not so refreshed. So how many of you have experienced this kind of thing? After moving into a new house or after changing, would you put it in the chat? If any of you have experienced this and don't know the reason for it, I would love to hear from you. Develop illness or health condition after moving into a new place, lower concentration for self and children. It is directly linked to this. Not just homes, when we were doing so many offices, what we found that people who were sitting on these geopathic lines, there were higher attrition from those areas. That was quite a surprise to me also. This was a very interesting office we did for SRF. And the management told us that we want you to do this office because this is something which we feel everybody will like it and we'll want to create a healthy office. So there are no concern as of now. So when our team did the survey and we went with that survey plan to them, 2-3 seats where these geopathic lines were cutting, actually they said that the highest attrition is from this one. And we can know if you are sitting there, your concentration is low, you're not feeling good, so your productivity obviously will go down. So only two things will happen. Either you leave the organization or you're asked to. So that is something which is very, very interesting and correlating these phenomena sometimes, which is unseen, as we talked about, unseen stealers of immunity or unseen stealers of productivity. And manufacturing unit also we have found this to be happening, that machines which are located on these geopathic lines, they tend to have more breakdowns, which some of you who are related to manufacturing units or plants, you would notice that out of 5 machines, same make, same maintenance, one give you more problem than the rest. The reason could be these ground radiation. So imagine if it has the capacity to even interfere performance of machine, what it could be doing to our body. Just a thought. So everyone must be thinking, how do we measure it? A very, very simple instrument was developed around the same time when this geopathic radiation came across in 1940s by a doctor in Austria. And this instrument is called Lecker antenna. Lecker antenna is a very, very simple instrument. This works on a phenomena of resonance. हमें याद होगा, we used to do tuning fork experiment in school. One tuning fork vibrating, waves go, hit the other tuning fork and it vibrates on its own. So these radiations have a wavelength and a frequency, which is given by researchers. You fix that wavelength here and you scan the environment, and wherever you find this radiation coming from ground, this instrument goes into resonance. This instrument moves on its own. I'm sorry, I'm not able to show you this here, but I will request my colleagues who are there in this chat with me to put the video so that you all can see that. And whenever we get chance, I'll be happy to show you physically also. So this is something which actually can measure. Apart from this, if you don't know how to use the instrument, or you don't know where the instrument is, or you don't have the instrument, a best thing for you to measure is your heartbeat. So your body is the best instrument. As we were saying, that your body first gets impacted. So if you are in a stressed zone or a negative zone, your heartbeat immediately goes up, anywhere between 5 to 10 counts, depending on your own immunity. So that is the best way you can measure it. So if one place you are not feeling good, and now with Fitbit, you can actually measure it immediately. So measure your heartbeat at that place. Just move to some other place. After 10 minutes, recheck your heartbeat. If it is going down, then you know that where earlier you had measured, that is not a good place for you to sit or sleep. In fact, initially when we were doing work earlier, so we had this challenge that how do we show physically to people that yes, we have made a difference, because sleep quality, all that health and all takes a little while for you to feel good about. So we spoke to doctors and they said that actually your heartbeat is the parameter which actually tells you how stressful or unstressful you are. And we started measuring that in our work. And now we have 6,000 data points where we have found difference more than 4 to sometimes going up to 8% improvement in people's heart, especially in workspaces. So if keeping other parameters same in a day's time, if this can change or improve your heartbeat, it's worth looking at. So I don't know, a lot of questions must have come, and I don't want to take a break here. Maybe we'll take up questions when we finish. I want to go into another phenomena which most of us know about. Many of us think it is harmful. Many of us don't think it is harmful. So a phenomena called electrosmog or e-pollution. So when I was speaking to Rajiv Makhni, he said, this must be the term which you must have coined. I said, no, I haven't coined it. This is the term which actually researchers have coined to this e-pollution. Like we have air smog now, actually electrosmog is something which is still invisible to our eye. And we can see it now. For last 2 months, I'm seeing it for myself. I'm continuously in front of my laptop. In fact, I'm telling my colleagues, please get wireless network proper so that we can talk. So these are the radiation which are coming from all our electronic and Wi-Fi devices. So let me ask, how many of us really feel that mobile radiation is not harmful? So we have a lot of people raising hand that they don't feel it is harmful. So maybe by end of this part of the presentation, I hope I'm able to tell them that yes, it is doing some harm to your body. Maybe at the end of this, we will take up that question again. So I'm not saying it is harmful. A lot of scientists and researchers are talking about it. WHO in 2011 took out a paper and they said that they put this particular radiation into category which is 2B, which is probable carcinogenic. It comes under the same category as exhaust fumes, lead and asbestos. But this was the category where almost 30-40 years back cigarettes were also kept. Now they have moved to much higher category. So we all know the kind of trajectory the cigarette took, from doctors saying smoke a Marlboro cigarette to now. So this is a new phenomena. A lot of research are going on. There are few people who say that it is not harming, but many researchers are saying that it is harmful. I don't know if some of you have had a chance to experience or see a simple hand test which we do. Actually, when I was doing research on this, technically I was convinced that it is harming me, but somewhere in my mind, I wasn't sure how it is harming me because I've been using mobile for 10-15 years. I haven't seen any direct negative effect of mobile touch wood as of now. So that question comes to all of our mind, that what is it really doing to our body? So I would request, maybe I'll request one of my colleagues to put that in a chat box, a link to this simple hand test, which will you can do it at your home, and it will at least make you think it is doing something to my body. So please do that, and I would urge you to write to me or share your experience as to what happened with hand test. Were you able to feel something, or were you not able to feel something? So let's continue. So if it's the same category, do we do this to our kids when they cry or when they ask you no? Then why this? That is the question which all of us need to ask. Is it something a plaything? I feel very, very sad when I see very, very tiny kids using this device. It's not that we don't love them. It's just that I feel that we are not aware that this could be harming them equally as that thing which I showed earlier. So next time, think about it I'm not saying when you need to use it, like most of us are now using, we can responsibly use it, but kids, they don't have a choice. You give them all the choices. So please think about this. Researchers have said that there are enough research, and we can share a lot of links with you. There is a scientist named Mekta Havas. She talks about this. She has a website called EHS Trust where you can go. So this is linked to actually much more harmful than to kids. It is 10 times more harmful to younger generation up till the age of 30 because their blood barrier is very weak. So ADHD, autism, lower cognitive function, memory impairment. In fact, recently when I was giving a awareness session for Sri Ram School, so two teachers after the school or the session came to me, and it really saddened me to hear them. They shared their experience that they have been teaching for last 10, 15, 20 years. Earlier in their class, there were not even one or two students with an issue called ADHD, attention deficiency syndrome. But today, almost each class has more than 2 to 3 people suffering or kids suffering from this. So there is something wrong we are doing. This may not be the only culprit, but this could be one of the culprits. So how many of us have actually seen our phone manual? Please raise your hand before we started using the phone. So then you must have read this in your phone manual. They write 4 things. Text more than talk, we all know. Use earphones while talking. Almost all your phones come with the earphone. Recommended talk time should not exceed 6 minutes in an hour. All of us are breaching that. Why 6 minutes in an hour? That is your SAR, which is a specific absorption rate of the phone, which is the heating element of the phone, has been tested for only 6 minutes call in an hour. And very, very interesting fact, which I didn't know, but when I went there, that keep your phone at least 10 to 15 millimeter away from your body at any time. Your hand is also your body. So this is what manuals are writing. So it's not the question of problem with technology. I feel technology is fantastic, but it's making me talk to all of you at this time. But we need to use technology responsibly. And as we say, I will talk more about it, how responsibly and what we can do about it. But more problem is there are 2 types of problem which mobile phones have. One is the heating impact, which all of us, whenever we talk on phone, we get that heat after 1 hour, our ears get hot. That is the heating part of it. But the other part of this radiation, which is also known as microwave radiation, has an impact on our biological system. That is why that happens is because the kind of waves this radiation has, that is very, very different to the waves which our body emits. We all know our body is full of electromagnetic signals. EEG is nothing. ECG is the similar thing. So we are reading continuously our electromagnetic signal. And that's how we get impacted by the environment around us. So today we are using our gadgets more than anywhere between 2 to 8 to 12 hours. And our homes are becoming smarter. So what it is doing to our health, we need to be aware. So this is what I meant when we talked about type of radiation which is different coming from these radiation to our body radiation, which is random. So anytime you see EEG, ECG, it's a very random waveform. Whereas all these man-made radiation emits constant. So it's like random doesn't recognize this constant. Two of us are talking, two friends are talking, and if somebody external comes and start talking, we kind of shut down. Or if he talks louder than what we are talking, we can't even hear each other. So that's what is happening all the time when you are using your phone. Your cells' communication are hindered. They are not able to hear each other properly. So what it is doing, it is not doing any direct effect or disease. It is not causing that, but it is lowering your body immunity. Imagine if your cellular functions get hampered, then first thing which gets impacted is your immunity. And that's could be one of the reasons why this particular radiation is also linked, WHO has linked to. So effects are almost similar. And it's not me which is saying, a lot of countries have woken up to this. 5 countries have banned wireless technology in schools, Wi-Fi in schools, including Israel, France, Korea. I'm forgetting 2 more countries' name. Berkeley has put a law of right to know, that whatever you are writing inside the manual, please print it on the cover, on the packaging. So their phones will come with the packaging saying that it could be injurious to your health. So now coming to your home. So I've given you enough thoughts to think about in terms of energies and radiation. So just quick pictures. So next time, think about it. That lack of concentration could be because of these things. I always feel that radiation, your desk is a radiation war zone. So you need to think of some kind of solution to the problem. And that I will talk about it later. But just creating awareness about such invisible issues which are harming our immunity. This is very familiar in our living room, in our bedroom. So this is why I call it a new health challenge. This is our normal home. Sometimes we are impacted by mobile towers or high tension wire line, but sometimes we are not. We are lucky. In fact, when I chose my house, there were no towers there. And suddenly I see, while coming from office, suddenly I see one tower. I just 10 meters away, and I hadn't even noticed. So actually, none of us actually immediately notice all this. But the moment I saw it, across my room, I started putting these solutions which we have, which I will talk about later, EnviroGlobe, which is actually a radiation purification. But either you have a choice that you don't take your living spaces close to tower. If you have a choice, that's best. But if you can't, then you have to find solution which take care of those problems. And there are available. So this is just to show you your present home. These are some of the factors which we have created, like you sleeping next to your phone. So it is directly affecting you. Similarly, this. So all these we have combined your tower, electrosmog, which is what I was talking about earlier as the hidden immunity stealers. So now coming to what really can we do. You all must be thinking कितना डरा दिया है और solution क्या है अभी तक उस पे नहीं आए हैं. So some simple tips I will share with you. What you can do immediately to start a home which is more healthier than what it used to be. So Wi-Fi radiation, it's the game of distance. Distance is the key. Like any kind of microwave radiation, here the distance is the key. So just giving you some ideas on the distance. For example, Wi-Fi routers in your home. Many of the homes I go to, they complain of sleep quality. And when we go and survey their room, we find that Wi-Fi router is sitting right next to their head. And I wonder why. Just because awareness is low. Otherwise, Wi-Fi router can function from anywhere. So I would urge you to please just see if you have Wi-Fi router in 10 feet radius next to your bed or next to your children's study area or next to your desk. Please, if possible, put it at a place where it's like put it in the area, maybe in a corridor where it is not continuously impacting where you are spending more time in the phones at night. Keep it 2 feet away. I know all of us want to pick up when some call come. So I'm not asking you to switch off. Best is if you can put it in flight mode, but it's most of the time not possible. So at least urge your children and yourself, put this much one hand away. So when you want, you can pick it up, but at least at night, it is giving you that respite. Night is the time when our body rejuvenates. So try and see that you give them least radiation exposure. Switch off your TV from the switch. Don't put all these gadgets next to you when you sleep. And if possible, take a detox time. Half an hour in a day. Try and see that we detox from these gadgets and encourage others to do the same thing. When your children is studying, or nowadays there's a lot of calls happening over all the studies happening over the laptop. So put at least 3 feet distance or 2.5 feet distance. Like presently I have minimum 3 feet distance from my laptop. So this is important. When you do long calls, please use hands-free, the wired one, not the wireless one. Wireless one is more harmful because it is continuously receiving and emitting signals. So that is not the thing. Obviously, when you're working on a laptop or talking on phone, you sometimes need to have it in your hand. That's where you need certain protection. That is where we will talk about it. So there are solutions available in the market, but first and foremost is if we are aware, then we can avoid most of the things. So again, repeating, distance is the key. When you give it to kids, please, please, please put it on flight mode, download whatever you need to show them and put it on flight mode, and then let them play with it. Then let them see whatever movie they want to see. Especially when the signals are weak. We all must have got these WhatsApp messages, but it is actually correct that when the signals are weak, your phone is actually emanating maximum radiation. And signals are weak normally inside the car, running car. So if you're talking on phone in the running car, ensure that you keep the phone little away, or in the lift area or some other areas where the signals are low. The moment the signals are low, please don't dial and put your phone very close to your ear. Let the other person pick up and then either put it on speaker mode if it's a long call. If it's a short call, 6 minutes, it's okay. I've already shown this, but this is just to show you that some of the things we can avoid. Some of the things you need solution, and I think so you all can find those solutions. Now, that's enough about electromagnetic radiation, Wi-Fi radiation. So if there are any other questions, please put it on Q&A, and I will just quickly go through these two last slides, which is about improving the natural energy flow in the house. So this is mainly from our experience, on-site experience, and because of the instrumentation, we were able to measure. So we have found lighting a fire in your house. That means lighting a small candle or a diya. And if you can find the southeast zone of your house, that would be the best, because that is something where the fire energy works best. It is a very, very good energizer. We have seen its direct impact on many of the homes, and not just homes. In fact, large manufacturing units where we have worked, they have started lighting candle at a specific spot, because we have realized it can enhance, it can correct natural energy. And if you think about it, most of us were earlier doing it, not just in our culture, but it used to happen in Western culture also. Fire has a very, very good use. It is the best, highest energy available. So please use that. Try it in your house. Try it for next 7 days and let me know what experience you feel. I have shared this, and sometimes you can use diffuser. Put the candle below and put lovely perfume oils. Or if you are not allergic to camphor, camphor is a very, very good air cleanser. In fact, I just recently came across a WhatsApp message saying that camphor is also good as a medicine, which homeopathy we are taking, but it is a good face cleanser. So use that, try it, and share your experience with me. And similar thing you can do for yourself. This I try it every day. It's part of my daily routine, and a lot of our clients are doing it. Anytime you are feeling very tired, just put your hand around a candle or a diya, a live flame. It is actually absorbing the energies from the candle or the heat. And we all know our palms of our hand has all the points of our body, as the acupressure suggests. So when you give them heat, the whole body energy gets aligned. And we have been able to measure that it does help in bringing up your immunity, it does help in aligning your own system, and it helps in ensuring that you are energetic again. So try it, and try it for a couple of days and let me know how you feel. These are 2 or 3 things which I felt you could do it immediately, start it, and please share your experience. And then now I would request my colleagues to get on to the system of and tell me what all questions we can answer. And I see, wow, there are a whole lot of questions here. Uh, so,
Uh,
so one question has come from anonymous attendee saying, how will you find out the radiation in an area? So very simple. This is the instrument which is available. It is not can be used by everybody, but experts use it. Or we are expert on that, or there are other people. So you can actually use this instrument to find radiation, because each radiation has a wavelength and a frequency. So you can measure where they are and whether they are impacting our body negatively or not. It is very easy. If you like, just reach out to me. I will ensure that we can get a survey done for your place. So Parul is writing a question. I feel more relaxed and energetic at home, but same is not the case in my office. So Parul, answer is maybe you are affected by some of these radiation in your office, which we are all are. So there are routers next to us. We don't even know them. So if you like, just next time when you go to office, look around, you'll find some of the hidden immunity stealers. Sanjeev, I will need your help. Can you please help me with so many questions here?
sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am. Me and Kanushri have been quite busy in the chat box. I see people are actually quite enjoying the session because I see people questions are coming up in the chat box as well as in Q&A sessions. So we'll take it one by one. So I'll try and merge the questions which are like the same. So how will you find out about radiation? I think you have already answered that question.
Yes.
So Mr. Vikas is asking, many South Indian companies use iron and certain metals to remove certain effects. He is asking, is it used to remove geopathic radiation?
So thank you, Vikas, for asking this question. I don't immediately have any study done on this, or I have no direct knowledge, but yes, I rely on this instrument. So if you have used those, we can help check it. If it is working, then its best can be used. So I don't have a direct answer to this question, but I'll find out more and then maybe I'll connect to you on this.
So next, I think most of the people would be thinking of, is 5G a real threat to our immunity? What can a common man like me do?
So I'm thinking the same question. I'm doing a lot of reading and a lot of research on this 5G because it has come to certain countries, and from there the research shows that yes, it is not, because this 5G is going to be here. I'm just talking about Wi-Fi router being 10 feet away. This is going to be now beamed from satellites. So there will not be I would 1/10 of an inch of Earth's surface which will be left empty without this Wi-Fi. So the look-wise, yes, it is a threat. There's still a lot of, I would be happy to share some of the things which I am reading and I'm finding, yes, it is very, very
Great. So the next question is from Ridhima Kumar. She's asking, do electronic gadgets emit radiation even when they are off?
No, Ritima. They don't. Actually, that's why we ask you to switch off the gadgets when it is not in use. So electromagnetic radiations are not emitted when it is in switched off mode.
Okay, great. So Mr. Sanjeev Kumar is, I think, is asking, his question is related to the lighting of Diya, which have advised in the southeast zone. So he's asking, fire candle for how much time?
So I have found any time between half an hour to 1 hour if you're doing it every day. If you're doing it in once a week or something, then you need to be doing it for a little more time.
Okay, so this is an interesting question from Gitika Kejriwal. I think many of the people who are especially using the iPhones would be eager to know about it. She's saying she first of all is thanking you for the talk, and she's asking, I wanted to ask about Bluetooth headphones. Most of the phones now only have this option and not a 3.5 jack. Is it safe to use Bluetooth headphones?
Gitika, thank you for asking. But I think so. I have mentioned that it is not. The only way which now, like we have our companies working on multiple solutions, we have solutions for mobile phones which can take care of mobile radiation, which I use it, and laptop. So maybe next research will go on how we can create these radiation protection chip for Bluetooth earphone. Till then, no, it is not safe.
So many of the iPhone users might be shocked after hearing the answers.
So when you are not talking on phone, please remove the Bluetooth from your ear. That's the only way I can say that at least you can safeguard a little bit.
Okay. So the next question is from Maria. She's asking, what is the impact of installing a mobile tower on one's rooftop? Are there any research studies on it?
Yes, there's whole lot of research and study done. In fact, there are some of the research, I don't know, I had, when I came into it first, experience which I can relate and which was there around that time, it's more than 5-7 years back, that there was a case in Mumbai where there was a unit, or there was a Usha Kiran building. If some of the Mumbaikars are here, they would know that across the Usha Kiran building, from 6th to 9th floor, they found that there was a tower which was kept on, or towers came up on the building across the Usha Kiran building. And within 2 years' time, all occupants from 6th to 9th floor, because towers were actually in line with 6th to 9th floor, each of the occupants had a case, each house had one case of cancer. So this could be a drastic correlation, but yes, this happened. So tower is really not good on your, above your rooftop. If you have it, then you need to only go for solutions, which is, there are now solutions. When there is a problem, the solutions also come in. So today I focused only on problem and what you can do yourself. So yes, you can find solution. There are these radiation protector. One of them is sitting right here next to me. It's called EnviroGlow. It's a radiation purifier. It can purify an area of almost 10 feet radius. So please use some kind of purifiers, radiation purifier in your house, which are tested well.
Okay, great. Next question I think is related to the same the DR paddling option that you have shared. So it's from one of the attendees. He's asking, my southeast corner is open space, and then my room. Where should I light the diya, in open terrace or on my room?
Anywhere you can light. If anyone has a difficulty in finding the southeast, just go in the center of your house, take out the compass, just see where the north is, and from the north, face the back as the south, right side is east, left side is west, and go to the southeast and light anywhere in the southeast. And if you still can't find it, send your layout plan to me with the north mark. I'll let you know.
Okay. There is one more question which is interesting. He is asking how the underground water ground affects to geopathic radiation.
So underground water streams. So there are fissures in the underground surface, and there are water streams like we have up on the ground. So they are the geopathic radiation. They emanate radiation upwards because of the flowing water, and that researchers have called as one of the geopathic radiation. So they are not impacting, but they are the geopathic radiation source. I hope I'm able to answer your question. If I'm not, then please, you can message me or you can email me again. I can see someone asking that. Yes, Sanjeev. So another 5 minutes and we will then take other questions and we will write those answers and send it to everyone.
Okay, great. So the next question is, he's asking for basically the solution. He says, do we have any device which can negate or nullify these harmful radiations?
You have asked me a question which is very close to my heart. Thank you for asking. I was waiting कि कोई तो मुझसे पूछे कि what is the solution to the problem. So yes, that is where Environics has done lot of research. So we have found solution to the problem. So we are not in the space of just creating fear, but actually the whole effort was what can we do, because this is part of our everyday life. So yes, we have a solution which can take care of geopathic radiation by single chip. Many times you can't shift your bed, you can't shift your your gadget. So then you have to have a solution, and that is this solution which is called EnviroChip. If you Google, you will find it. And this is something which we have done a lot of research. This works on the same phenomena. It doesn't absorb the radiation. It doesn't deflect it, because those both things are not possible. Your gadgets are working on those radiation. So the phenomena which I talked about, it just changes its nature so that it's not harmful for our body. So please do go on site. There are a whole lot of research papers. In fact, recently we completed a research with AIIMS, and that I'm very proud to say that that research came out positively, because we tried on the EEG of the brain. So how mobile radiations impact EEG and how our chip can actually, so those came out very positively. So the research is ongoing. We will have the research paper published soon. But that is something where we were able to go into multiple clinical trials.
Initially, you have to stay a bit long because questions are keep on coming in. People are actually curious to know about many things. The next question which I'm putting is from Joydeep Kumar. So he's asking, do the modern mobiles and smart devices have that strong radiation enough to incite cancerous diseases?
So radiation, Joydeep, radiations are not that strong, but the exposure time, if it increases, then it's the cumulative effect is what is harmful. So it's not that if you use your mobile couple of minutes, it's going to cause that, like it happens in X-ray or any other rays. These are all non-ionizing radiation. So they don't have as much harm as the ionizing. But the problem is now we are surrounded with this all the time. So it is slowly impacting our immunity. It is not causing any direct problem, but immunity impact can result into multiple things. Cancer in extreme cases have been also found to be linked to this.
Great. So next question is from Pooja. Ms. Pooja, she's asking, can this instrument also measure electrosmog?
Yes, Pooja, it can, because those also have wavelengths. So this instrument can measure any kind of radiation if we know the wavelength and frequency. And those are given by researchers. So yes, it can measure the electrosmog. It does not measure the intensity of the electrosmog. It measures till where it is impacting us, what is the circle of influence of that particular gadget, and whether it is impacting us negatively or it is neutral for our body. So yes, it can.
Great. So this question is from Mr. Sani. He's asking, how is this connected to Vastu?
That's actually a very topic which initially I did a lot of research on. So Mr. Sani, that's maybe another webinar I'll do on the whole thing. But just to give you that, it is not directly connected to Vastu. Some of the concepts are Vastu, according to me as an architect, when I did research, it is science of construction. It is science of architecture of ancient India. The end result of building those signs or building those buildings was to create a conducive work environment. So what we do also is creating a conducive living or working environment. So in that way, it is similar, but it is not similar in terms of its concept or its in terms of the principles. But we do take care of the energy flow, because at the end, the Vastu also talks about creating a positive energy flow inside the house. And we can measure that positive energy flow with the instrumentation. The reason could be multiple of having a negative energy flow. Vastu is one of them. So it is not directly connected to Vastu. Geopathic has nothing to do with Vastu. Electrosmog has nothing to do with Vastu. In fact, electrosmog didn't even exist when Vastu was invented, 4,000 years old.
Okay. So before we proceed, just wanted to inform you, Manisha ji, we still have more than 190 participants. When we started this, the session was there, or there are 20, 30 participants were there. So people are still there in the Q&A sessions. Generally, people, the webinars I have been to, people generally quit the session. But some of people are still there.
Thank you, everyone. I'm really encouraged. This is my first webinar. And thank you so much for encouraging me on this webinar. Thank you so much. And good night. Stay safe. And please make your home healthier. Please reach out to me anytime you feel that I can be of any help. I will be happy to, in whichever way, help all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you.